What is a shell, right? A shell is a special user program which provides an interface to the user to use the operating system services. It accepts human readable commands from the users and converts them into something which kernel can understand. So in a way, when we will see the architecture of Linux, shell is somewhere sitting between the kernel and the users. If we were to talk to kernel directly, we would have to be like we would have might be using a very low level language, and those commands could have been very complex to run, which was not humanly possible. So they introduced something called shell. So now we give a very simple command. Shell will give that command to kernel, get the response from the kernel, and then show the result to you on your screen. Terminal, as such, terminal is providing you the access to the shell only. Okay, so there is nothing unique about terminal in that sense, but terminal is something that allows you to access shell. And after that, everything that you are doing on terminal is nothing but shell commands. And now, apart from being that interface, it is also something of a command language interpreter. So what shell can do is that you can give him multiple commands, and it can read from input devices like keyboards or from files, etc., etc. In a nutshell, that is providing you that capability to perform any kind of action through the shell commands only, without needing to use your graphical user interface at all. This is my normal login, and say if I want to see what is my shell right now being used, I can do this. It's been bashed, and similarly available shells on the system. I think this is the command to use, available shell on the system. Today, if you will just try to search for number of shell options available, there will be quite many, right? So 3 we have listed here, which are quite popular, and there can be others also. So the most widely used shell on Linux is bash shell, that is born again shell. Today it's a default shell on many Linux flavors. Other one is C shell. So people who work a lot on C language, for example, they might choose to use C shell because the syntax of C shell is very similar to C language. Similarly, Corn shell was also there. It's a POSIX shell based on POSIX shell standard specification. So again, people who work in those environments might want to use different shell. Now, just talking about born again shell, when we log into your terminal, you get access to your shell. So we are keeping the default shell, that is bash shell. And our syntax of bash shell is this, right? So this is what you get when you log in to your terminal. Okay. Same thing you will get when you will log into PuTTY also. So you get a username, you get host name, and you get this present working or home directory of that user and this sign. So this is what you have to understand. Everything has a significance over here. Obviously, CentOS is the user and batch11 is the host name of my system. The other thing is $sign. In Linux, you might already know that there are two main kind of users. One is the root user and the other is our normal users. Root user, if you log in with a root user, you will get a hash sign instead of a $sign. So for example, if I were to just do SU, so this hash sign comes because this is a root login now. Now I'm the super user. It's like administrator account in Windows. So this is one major difference that happens when you log in as root. Automatically, you will get this hash sign. So even if I create a new user and it has got root privileges, I will get the hash sign. And the other thing is this particular sign. This is your home directory where you land for that particular user. So normally, if I'm not changing too much stuff in the system, this will be pointing to nothing but the home directory of the user. So for our root user, our home directory is /root. So right now I'm logged in with which user? I am like logged in with, there's a command called who am I. This can tell you with which user you have logged in. And there's command called pwd, present working directory. So you can see this is my home directory. Home directory for root user is in a different path altogether. That is again one unique feature about it. It's /root. But for all other users, here the home directory will be under /home. So user, computer name, current directory, and type of user.